mentioned about these Christian ethical concepts, very important concept. Most of the time, we always try to figure out if you are really an ethical person. Sometimes we make a comment that whether you are ethical or unethical. But do you really understand the definition for the ethics? As a professor, sometimes you have to make a decision. If you give a grade for people, then you are going to be loved and gain popularity. Your teacher evaluation is going to be very high. However, you will lose the respect from people. If you try to emphasize your role and function as a gatekeeper, not a helper only, then sometimes you would have to give a low grades and then people will lose the love to you. Then you might have respect, but you don't have a chance to gain popularity. So sometimes we are kind of get caught by these situations. Whether you want to have a good brand, you are a reasonable person, or you want to have a good love. That you are really sensible to the human needs. As Christians, we always face a lot of decisions. Do you want to be the gatekeeper or you want to be the helpers? We so get that God really give this type of the moral compass in our heart. In the Bible, only mentioned about the ethical concept, which means that you are going to decide whether you go to right, go to left. Which one would be the best way? As compared to non-believers, as Christians, we really have some moral compass in our mind, which means that we will hear the voice behind us. This morning we studied a lesson, the voice came from Holy Spirit. They always try to remind, we have to do the right things, don't do the wrong things. As compared to those non-believers, they don't have such a privilege to hear the voice from behind. So why is the right, why is the left? If you look at the definition here, people with a good brain, okay, which means that they try to follow all the rules. Because how would you know you are on the right-hand side, on the right side? If you are really follow the rules. Okay, so the right-hand side person, okay, most of the time would have a very strong sense to keep the rules. Procedural justice. You will follow the rules all the time. You will try to follow demographic rules to go with the majority. You will try to follow the law. Somehow the culture can tell you right or wrong. Then, on the right-hand side, you will find out the Ten Commandments was the highest moral standard that God already told us in the Bible. But how about the left-hand side? Because most of the time that you are not just only focus on the means, okay, the process got to be justified, got to be accurate. Sometimes you have to consider some people's needs. Okay, those left-hand side really emphasize sometimes, rules sometimes not always perfect. Sometimes we have to deal with some type of situation, some kind of outcome. We have to really look at the outcome as a whole picture. So sometimes you make adjustment for your rules. Sometimes you have to really try to stretch down a little bit to consider people's needs and situation, instead of just only try to advocate your ideal. Okay, you have to try to maximize the outcome, minimize the damage. Okay, so left-hand side person, their mindset is going to be more like emphasize the the ends itself, the outcome itself. You have to do something extra. Back in the Bible, the Roman soldiers only required you to walk 1 mile, but on the left-hand side person, that Jesus tell the disciples, you need to try to walk extra miles. Extra miles is not your status quo, it's not your rules, it's what your willingness to do something more for others. So we have to deal with this kind of situation all the time in our daily life. Should we expel lots of illegal immigrants? Something like this. So you have this kind of always facing out the decisions. In the theology seminary, we have 3 areas. Number 1 is the biblical theology. Number 2 is the ministry. Number 3 is the Christian ethics. This area try to have you to deal with lots of these social issues. Then how would you handle the homosexual person? How would you treat those people? How would you deal with those refugees? Okay? If you did not really have this kind of understanding, sometimes you could just only easily to stand on the right hand side. Oh, keep the rules all the time, then I'll be fine. That's a comfort zone. So actually, if you look at this kind of situation, we have several cases. I want to find out, have you to find out yourself, are you the right-hand side person? Are you really advocate your branding power, or you are really advocate what? Your loving power, your caring power? This is the first situation I had in this case, scenario. I want everybody to raise your right hand with me. Everybody, right hand, your left hand, okay? So if I ask you these questions, I want you to tell me what you think. The first case we have when the airplane crashed in the North Pole, all of a sudden they ran out of food, the rescue team disappeared, did not come to rescue these people. And the people don't have any food left. So what should we do? According to the right-hand side person said no. How many people said, I'm not going to eat any human flesh? Raise your hand. No matter how. Okay. How many of you think that if that was come to a situation, no one can survive, we have those kind of the deadly corpse right there available, then we need to minimize the damage, try to extend our life. So we need to, based on this kind of situation, make a little bit sacrifice of our principle, our law, then we might need to start eating some human body. How many of you really think, based on the love, based on the situation, based on the outcome, we need to consider this alternative option? Anybody raise your hand? Let the left hand side. How about those people did not raise your hand? Come to the ethical dilemma, you have to make decisions. Okay? Either do it or not do it. Okay? So are you going to be very judgmental to criticize those people who eat human body? That was a movie called Alive. Anybody watched the movie before? You did, right? So what would be the situation at that time?
They ate.
Actually those people choose to what? To eat human bodies. Okay? Second scenario, I want you to find out yourself if you are a person really have a good brain, or you are the person to have good love. People with a good brain, okay, look at this case here. There was a situation when those people go west to dig out those gold mine, all of a sudden surrounded by, found out there was a group of Indian soldiers, warriors, passed a patrol in the area. And all of a sudden, these people just feel so scared. They put yourself, they hide themselves behind a rock. Okay, all of a sudden, there's a baby crying. Okay, the crying very loud. The mom cannot really stop the crying. So at that time, the mom just look at everybody, and then everybody say, looks like it's a critical situation. If the baby keep crying, then what? Then we are going to face the worst outcome, which means what? Those Indian soldiers are going to kill everybody, about 100 babies. Now 100 people, including babies. So it is time. You think, okay, if you are the person who really think, okay, we should, based on this kind of love, okay, to secure the entire outcome, we need to try to do it. Want the mom to suffocate the baby so that anybody can be rescued. Anybody really support his ideas to the baby died? Okay, please raise your left hand side. The baby died. If the baby died, anybody can what? Could be what? Rescue, right? Could be saved, right? Those Indian soldiers will not be able to find your locations, so they will not really have chance to kill anybody. Anybody support this idea? Just try to let baby die, make a sacrifice, so that everybody can be saved. Anybody left hand side? No? How about right hand side? we should not kill the baby, then what? We just need to have older adults to fight with those Indian soldiers. Raise your hand. So looks like you're right-hand side person, okay? You are the people advocate the good brain, okay? I'm going to give this kind of the survey to see what your moral compass you have. It's not really right or wrong. Somehow you deal with the good or bad decisions in these ethical dilemma and predicament situations. There's the other case when Harvard University found out one of the medical school students went to the local restaurant as the waitress. All of a sudden, one of the patients really have a choke. This is a real story. Have a choke. Then, if you are in the medical field, when your child have a choke, what would you do? How would you help? Okay, we have the technique called Heimlich. Okay, try to lift the diaphragm of your chest, right? So that you can really have the things to get out from the chest. But the question is that this medical student really try everything she can. Okay. However, the things did not work out. So what will be the next? Anybody know? Huh? Yeah, take a knife, right? Right? To cut the throat, right? Let the air come out, right? Okay? But the question is that you are not the medical school students. You are not a medical doctor yet. You don't have license. Okay, would you do it? Okay, who said you will do it based on good heart? Raise your hand. Raise your hand inside left. You will do it. But what if this patient really end up with a coma? What would you do? Okay, you have a good heart, right? Okay, you got a good heart. You want to do it, right? Left hand side, right? Okay, good heart. How many of you think that you are not medical school students? You're not a medical doctor yet. You don't have license to practice. So you should not do it with the right hand side. Okay, so we have hair, right? It's like we still have a lot of people in the middle way did not know what to do with this kind of critical situations. It's ethical situations. The story is like this because what people sometimes kind of care about if they really stay with a policy, they feel so afraid to cross the line to help out. There's cases in the airplane that one of the person really had a heart attack, and then the medical doctor with a specialty in OB did not want to rescue because it's not my specialty. If I do it and I do something wrong, then I'm going to be get burned. So end up, this is a real story. One of the medical doctor with the OB specialty did not really extend his help for a patient with a heart attack in the airplane. Okay, that was kind of real low case. This case end up this medical school student really feel that because I believe in God, I need to do something no matter the results. Okay, so actually she really tried to help. Then she immediately took one of a knife, okay, to cut the throat and then to rescue that patient. But the question is that end up with the school want to expel the students from Harvard University because you are not qualified as a medical student. The university even fired the teacher, say you did not teach your student right to follow procedural justice. Medical procedural justice, you need to try to follow rules. The student did not follow rules. End up, his boyfriend really do everything he can to find out any kind of legal support in this critical situation. And not his boyfriend really found out in the U.S. law, there is a law called what? Good Samaritan law. That law really stands out saying, in any critical conditions, based on good intent, you are at liberty to extend your help. The law will not try to prosecute you. Right now, even China follow these Western ideas. Who really put this kind of law in the system? It's the church. Okay. So even China right now really have the good person law. They did not use good Samaritan law, they say good person law, nice guy law. You know, we need to encourage people to have moral courage to extend your help based on good heart. Okay. Okay. Titanic have a story that there is the lifeboat when the boat really sunk. Okay, then but the boat really had the surrounding lots of people lifeboat on the first come first serve. All of a sudden there are 3 swimmers coming to the lifeboat. The captain looked at the 3 person swimming to the lifeboat. One of them are Nobel Prize winner. Really can create lots of the cancer medicine to heal many people. And then those 3 persons are really lightweighted. Okay, means what? Skinny. And all of a sudden, the captain looked at the boat. There's a guy with a heavy weight. So that was a critical situation. Would you really push off that heavyweight person on the boat to rescue that 3 person with a light weight, and one of them are Nobel Prize winner? So the outcome would be what? Maximum than what? Okay. So it's always critical situation. Who really think that we need to use the 3 person to exchange 1? Anybody agree? Raise your left hand side. Left hand. To push off the fatty guy to exchange 3 lightweighted guy, because one of them are Nobel Prize winners. Okay? Who think that we should not do that based on first come first serve rule? Okay, critical decisions. Okay, you can see sometimes you are not really consistent in these kind of decisions. In business, we also have some situations. There is the Nestle's baby formula. They found out there are some defects, and some type of deficiency of the calcium and the iron, so that the baby would not be able to get the sufficient nutrition. So that the company have to face decisions. One is to destroy all the baby formula. That's about several 100 tons of the baby formulas. Also, that one of the managers said that we should not do this way because what? Because there are a lot of kids in Africa did not really have food to eat. They are starved to death. So we should send this kind of defective baby formula to Africa, so that we can really maximize the outcome and minimize the damage, and that those babies could get still enough nutrition to continue their life. Otherwise, those babies in Africa would die. So how many of you think we should destroy all the baby formula? Here's your right hand side. Okay, because it's defective, okay, based on US standard, it's not going to be good for human beings, the babies to intake. So we need to destroy all the baby formula. Okay, so you are a person really want to follow the regulation, the standard, the law. But how about the other side? Did you really feel we need to try to give those baby formulas to what? To Africa? Raise your hand. Okay, so we have people really. How about people? We see a lot of people in the audience still did not really have the decision. Yeah, save life to maximize the outcome, right? Yeah, okay, so you want to save the life of those people, those babies in Africa. Okay, so these kind of decisions are always facing in our life. The other cases is the GE really have the situation to decide whether they want to sell the ultrasound machine to India. And the function for ultrasound machine is trying to deal with the genetic defects. All of a sudden they found out those machines going to India, and then what? Those people did not necessarily use that machine to detect the genetic defects. they end up using the machine to find out the gender of the baby. And then the Indian people like to have the boy to carry the family name. So they end up 70,000 babies were aborted. Means that potentially there's 70,000 babies in a year was aborted. So GE have to face this decision. Should we really sell the ultrasound machine to India? Anybody think yes? Right? Please raise your hand. Still have to sell. Because you know, if a knife can kill people, would you like to sell the knife? Knife, right? If a knife can kill people, would you still sell a knife to the to people? That's why in the social issue we do the gun control, right? It itself can create some damage over the human mind and decisions, control the machine or the knife or the gun. There's all kinds of social issues that we have to face these issues. How about the other side? We say, in order to minimize all the damage, that we should not sell any ultrasound machine to India. Who really support this idea? Raise your hand. Which there are people in the middle did not know what to do. Okay, so if you are in that way, I probably think that you can really continue this declaration. God really has nature as what? As righteousness. Okay, as righteousness. God holds that love. Okay. The love means what somehow they try to for what? The actual arms. We try to minimize all the deviation. We emphasize the quality. The quality means what? Very consistent. Stay in the framework, comfort zone. Okay. But the question is that they emphasize that sometimes that we have to be flexible, right? Why we have to really expel all illegal immigrants? Because what? Even the law said, that was the law. Actually, you are not supposed to come into the country in a sneaky way, and then we build a wall against you. But the question, when you say so, you still use those cheap laborers all the time to build the highway, build things. You still, in terms of practice, you still do it. You take an unfair advantage of those people. All of a sudden, political climate change. Then all of a sudden, you say, okay, no, we cannot really do it. Okay, so that in terms of the outcome, right, some people really has kind of good heart. If you say no, it's no. But why you still have the minister of the legislative department still hire a servant, a man with $2 an hour? You still have lots of the officers still hire those illegal immigrants to build your fence with a $2, $1 an hour. And then you do it, and then it's kind of hypocrite yourself. So you cannot really just kind of based on the rules all the time. So some people have some arguments in these situations. So you can say, on the right hand side, emphasize more than ideal